What do we say?
Butter. Well.
Yeah,
Egg.
butter, egg,
Powdered sugar.
powdered sugar. So it's basically going to be egg whites and powdered sugar. A whole lot of powdered sugar. Today I put some meringue powder in. So Kelsey helped. We got our egg whites. We added in meringue powder, powdered egg whites, that are going to help hold the fluffiness. So those snotty, disgusting looking egg whites, just by whipping air into them with our whip attachment, are going to become like little clouds that we can turn into a nice frosting. Okay, so I want all of you to get on the little train, and we'll go by. Kelsey will go last, and she's going to show inside that bowl. That's just about 4 minutes worth of mixing. Our egg whites got nice and fluffy.
Did you just have to get on your tippy toes and look at it?
Yeah, come on, Marianne.
We can't all be you, Karian. Some of us have to use our tippy toes. This would be called soft peaks, right? It looks like this nice, soft cloud. It's really pleasing to look at. I like it. I want to eat it too, right? It starts looking like this marshmallow of deliciousness. That's just the egg whites and a little meringue powder. I'm going to allow it to continue whipping until it gets what's called stiff peaks, right? We did this with our pancakes. We whipped the egg whites. They got to be a stiff peak consistency, and that helped give us fluffy pancakes. Today, stiff peaks will look like little waves crusting almost in the bowl, and the whip attachment, when I take it out, it's going to cling to it, right? It'll also get really shiny. At that point, I begin adding in my powdered sugar. That's a whole lot of sugar, okay? Kelsey already sifted it. We want to sift the powdered sugar so we don't have any clumps. It's going to sweeten the egg whites. It's going to thicken it. We will then add in a little salt and a touch of vanilla. If you want really white frosting, you probably don't want to go vanilla. I like it for the flavor, all right? So I'll continue whipping this, and we're going to check in with it in about 5 minutes. All right, so our stiff peaks, it's really clinging to that whip attachment, and it's kind of shiny. So I'm going to ask us to get back on our train. We're going to do the long train around. You can even sing, "Come on, ride the train." No? Choo-choo. Oh, you knew it! Yes! Okay, it's kind of shiny, so look close. And remembering these things, these indicators of doneness, right? I don't have to read a recipe step if I know what I'm looking for. A frosting doesn't always have to be a recipe if we begin to memorize techniques. An indication that it's done might be this shininess and the way it sticks to the bowl. I would always rather remember that and use my senses than relying on a recipe, right? So go ahead, train it up. Very nice. At this point, I'm going to begin adding in my powdered sugar. I will always start on a low speed, and I will incorporate gradually. I'm going to use my cup here to take it out, put it in. I do not want to LeBron the kitchen, so we need to go nice and slow and be patient with this. Right? It happens every year.
That was a great analogy.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do a little of this in. Always with the mixer off, and start on a low speed, and then I'll turn it off to gradually continue adding it in. All right, so this is going to be what thickens it up. Ooh. It's precarious. All right. So while this is mixing, everybody's rolling out their sugar cookie doughs. Okay, we cut out our cookies. We baked these at 325 degrees, all right, a lower temperature, because we don't want these getting too golden brown. They'll dry out and be crispy. Couple things when we're doing cookies. Every single year I hear this phrase, it burned, or they burned. They didn't burn themselves, it didn't burn itself, you burnt the cookies, right? Part of our professionalism is accountability. So when we do cookies in here, either ask me to set a timer for you, or I'll give you all timers and you'll set your own. Okay, don't assume you'll remember. These only need about 8 minutes. We're looking for them to be soft and the edges might just be golden. Oven is open. So if we over bake them, they're gonna be hard cookies and Mrs. Listman will be upset. Her heart will be broken. Okay, so these are set. I have little golden edges starting to form. And I already know where I'm going with the tray before I get them out of the oven. That cooling rack right there, okay? Please make sure you know that you have a spot to take the hot tray over to. Don't walk around, Chef, where'd I put these? Chef, where'd I put these? And we don't want to put them on a metal table, right? So I say hot, oven open. I come right over to my rack. Oven closed, those are still baking. We're gonna dye our frosting today. Yorkville, you'll be able to frost yours on Wednesday. Some of us, if I have some cooled, we might do a little frosting today. See what kind of time we have. Ooh, look at that. Starting to run off. We have a nice royal icing. This icing will then dry on the cookie and become firm. That's why we like to use it for decorating sugar cookies. All right, I'm just gonna let this guy chill there for a minute. We're gonna use gel frostings. These will give a brighter, more vibrant color, but any food dye that you have at home, if you're making them at home, will work. We're gonna do some pumpkins, so we've got orange, green, we're gonna do our skeletons, black, we're gonna leave some of that white. We'll do like a little yellow and maybe some blue for eyeballs, okay? When I do my frosting, I'll separate it out. If we're doing a lot, we could use a quart container or these pint containers. And I'll create all my colors first. Then what we'll do tomorrow is learn how to load everything into our piping bags, okay? So if you wanna help me today, we'll begin with toothpicks, adding in our food dye and getting a shade that we like. I have tools up here. I've got an offset, little baby offset spatula. And these things that kind of look like butter spreaders, right? These are great for being able to get the sides and mix it in, or we could use our spatulas, all right? So we'll all help with that. Cut.